What's up, y'all? I'm finally back with this video, okay? I know I said I was gonna drop it this week. I've really been contemplating on if I really wanted to drop it or not, because I know, like, I just didn't know if I want to put my business out there and stuff, but it's okay because a lot of females have experienced this, and it's nothing to be ashamed about, and shit happens. So, today is Saturday, September 19th, and the time is currently 3:29 p.m. And yes, I need to get into this video because I know y'all been waiting for it, and I just took too long. So anyway, I'm gonna hop straight into it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at She's So Troy with 2 eyes, and also like and comment and share on this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and yeah, shit. This was in 2017. Me and this guy was friends in high school, and of course 2017 I was 17. So yeah, so we was friends, and we would, like, walk around together in school. So some people thought we was together, but some people ain't really, paying no mind, whatever. It didn't matter. So we used to walk around in school together and shit. And we never could really hang out because my parents were strict. My mother ain't play that shit. And my father, he wasn't strict. He let me do some shit to a certain extent, but like far as going out with boys and shit like that, he wasn't with that. So, my father had moved. Yeah, he was living in the county. He moved back to the city. So when he moved to the city, I used to go to his house sometimes, and it was the summertime. So I turned 17 in June of 2017, and then that summer, me and him would hang out. Not hang out, but he would come to my father's house and sit outside with me. We'd be talking, laughing, whatever, eat snacks, and just chill for real. Around like August or something like that, or September, something like that, we really started getting serious. So at this point, you can say now we're dating for real. So we were really getting serious with each other, and yeah, it just went from there. He would come down my dad's house. So at this time, it's already like the end of the summer. It's like September, so it started getting cold fast. Like the fall just came quick. Like it just instantly went cold. So it was cold. It was getting cold. It was real cold at nighttime. And he used to always come see me at night because he'd be out during the day, and then he'd come see me at night. So my father would, at first he wasn't letting us sit in the house together. He would let me sit outside with him and shit like that. But then after a while, I started complaining. I'm like, Daddy, it's cold out here. Like, and it's nighttime, so the temperature gonna be dropping. Daddy, it's cold out here. I'm not about to keep sitting outside. Like, no. So we weren't really sitting outside. I ain't gonna say we were sitting outside. It was like the way my father, because he was in an apartment, it was the way it was set. I'm gonna just say we was sitting in the hallway at the apartment. So I'm like, it's cold, but it's still cold, so it feel like we outside. So I'm like, Daddy, no, I'm not about to keep sitting out here. No. So he let him come in the house, and we would watch movies and stuff on our phones and laughing, just chill and shit. So he would come down there like almost every day or something like that. Alright, so every night, I ain't gonna say every day, every night he would come. Almost every night, not every night, but almost every night. And he yeah, so basically our first time I had ended up getting pregnant, and he went to go get a Plan B the next day, and I took the Plan B, and it didn't kick in right away. So I'm like, maybe, I don't know why that shit ain't work or what the fuck happened. I don't know. So then the next day, I had took 3 pregnancy tests, and all of them said pregnant. So I was like, shit, what the fuck? Like, but I'm still in school. I'm only in 11th grade. Like, oh my God. So I'm like, how am I going to tell this to my parents? Like, what the fuck? My mother is not with none of that. My father, I definitely wasn't telling my father. My father was, I didn't even tell my father. My mother told my father. But anyway, I'm gonna get to that. So one day I was in the room, I was just thinking about it, and it was the day that I picked that I was gonna tell my mother. So I was like, I was in the room crying. I just broke down. I started crying, and my mother came in there. She heard me crying. She was like, "What's wrong?" And she be rubbing my back and stuff. And she was like, "What's wrong? Why you crying like that? Talk to me. Like, I don't like seeing you like this, shit like that." So I was like, "I gotta tell you something." And I'm pretty sure she knew when I said that. She already knew what it was, but she still wanted me to tell her. So she didn't. You know how somebody know, but they ain't gonna say it. So she still ain't say nothing. So she waiting for me to come out and say it. So I don't remember how I told her. I know I was crying though, but I don't remember how I told her. Cause my mother, I was scared as shit. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared as a bitch. But I was just trying to figure out how the fuck I'm gonna tell her. Like, I'm still crying. I don't know. But I ended up telling her, and what I told her, she didn't take it how I thought she was gonna take it. Like, she didn't go off on me. She didn't, curse me out, or she didn't do none of that. She just was really calm, and it was weird because I was like, because all my life I've been hearing mom be like, don't have no kids at a young age, finish school, get a job, and do what you gotta do first for you and get stable, and then try to have kids. You feel me? But we young and dumb, we gonna do shit. So that's what I always thought. And she would just be like, you better not bring no baby. You know how black parents is. Shit, I ain't gotta explain to y'all. Y'all know how black parents is. And yeah, so it was like that. So I thought she was gonna cuss me out. I thought she was gonna go off me, but she didn't. And that shit was scary. It was like, okay, am I talking to my mother or what? Like, I was like, what the fuck? So she took that shit light. I didn't say she took it light, but it just was weird. So I went to school the next day, and I was okay. And I had got pregnant around October 2017, at the end of October. So now it's going into November. We're in November now, and yeah, so I'm in school every day. Nothing happening. Everything seems fine, and I made my first doctor's appointment and shit. It was coming up for real. I never could go, but yeah, I made my doctor's appointment, and yeah. So that whole month of November, I was fine. Like, everything was smooth, and nothing happened. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck? The plan B broke? Like, I don't know. What the fuck happened to it? So me not knowing in my mind, me being young and not knowing really the ins and outs about pregnancy, I didn't know that, okay, when he told me that he did that for real, I was like, what the fuck? But I didn't take a pregnancy test that night when it happened. I didn't take one until after I took the plan B. So that was dumb as shit. I don't know why the fuck I did that. That was dumb as shit. Now that I'm looking back at it, you feel me? But I'm like, why the fuck would I do that if it was a possibility that I could have been? But we took the plan B to try to prevent it. But if he said he did, then, it was kind of a confusing thing. So I took it anyway. So yeah, the whole month of November, I was fine. Nothing happened. And, so I really didn't think it processed in my system. Like, that shit probably didn't even, I don't know, maybe it was an error in the pill. I don't know. So I didn't think nothing of it. Nothing was wrong. So, okay, November is gone. This is the beginning of December. I start having these pains in my stomach. So I'm like, so mind you, my father still don't know. My mother the only person that know. So I start having these pains in my stomach. I'm like, Ma, like, this shit don't feel right. And at first I didn't say nothing to her at first, but I was like, Ma, this it don't feel right. And she was like, you wanna go to the hospital? And I kept telling her no. I didn't want to go to the hospital. So we didn't go. And one day in school, it was December 9th. I was in school, and me and my best friend, we was in school. So I don't think we was in the same class that day. No, we weren't in the same class, and I had went to the bathroom because, okay, me being pregnant, I'm thinking like, okay, I know you can spot blood, but it's like, you ain't gonna have like as much blood as I had in my underwear. Like, it was like I was on my period. So it was like, what the fuck? So I felt something like in my underwear, and I was like, let me go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. It was so much blood. So I'm like, what the fuck? Why, why I got so much blood? So I'm scared. I'm panicking and shit because I don't know what the fuck to do. So I called my best friend. I told her to meet me in the bathroom. So she came in the bathroom with me, and I showed her, and she was like, cause she had twins, so she knows she been pregnant before, so she know. So I was like, am I supposed to have this much blood? Like, what is going on? Why I got so much blood? And she was like, yeah, you can spot during pregnancy, but this blood, it looked like you on your period. She was like, no, that's not, something ain't right. Like, you need to go to the hospital. So I was like, all right. So now I'm panicking. I'm scared. Called my mother. I was like, Mom, I'm bleeding. And she was like, all right, I'm on my way. So she straight came and got me from school, took me to the hospital. Got to the hospital, and the blood wouldn't stop. So I was, at this point, I'm bleeding through my pants. I bled through my pants. The hospital had to give me, they had to throw my underwear away. They gave me these fucking, it looked like a diaper, but it was like some underwear diaper thing. So I had to put that on, and then I was just sitting in there. So mind you, my stomach and nothing not hurting. I'm not bleeding. I mean, I'm not in no pain. I'm just bleeding. So I'm like, Mom, why am I bleeding like this? She was like, I don't know. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, I started looking up shit. I'm Googling everything. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna find out what the fuck wrong with me. So I also got pictures of I got one picture of my sonogram, and I got pictures, and I had posted some stuff on my Insta story back then. So it was like moments of me going to the hospital, and me having an IV and stuff in my arm. I didn't do too much, but I'm gonna insert some pictures for real. But yeah, so I got to the hospital, and I was in the bed. So that night, me and the boy, we started arguing. We was arguing about something, and he was trying to come. Even though we was arguing, he was still trying to come to the hospital and see me. But my mother wouldn't let him, so he didn't come. And yeah. So at that point, when I'm in the hospital, we arguing. I don't know what we was arguing about. But we was arguing. That at the same time, I'm in the hospital bleeding. Like, we arguing. Like, that shit was crazy. So that's when yeah, so the doctors, they came in there, they put the IV in me, and I'm gonna insert that right here. So that's when they started sticking me, giving me needles and shit, and just doing different shit, the stuff they gotta do for me. I had this one dumbass nurse show. This bitch, she stuck me in one arm, and then when she went to go get the tissue, the little cloth thing to put right there, the fucking needle fell out. This bitch let it go, and the needle fell on. So I'm watching her as she do it. Then she take that, once that needle fell out, she opened another needle and put it in the same hole. Why would you put the needle in the same hole? This bitch put it in the same hole, so now the hole is bigger, and my fucking arm bruised up now because she didn't keep sticking me in the same spot. She stuck me in the same hole. Then it wouldn't go through the little tube, so she had to take that out and start over again. So she closed that one up. Then she stuck me again, and I fucking fainted because she was sticking me too many times, and too much blood was coming out. I fainted. I was like, Ma. I was just kept saying, Ma. And my mother jumped up, and she was like, what the fuck? Like, what's wrong with her? And she was like, oh my God. My mother was panicking, like, what is wrong with my daughter? Like, why she acting like that? Why she look like she very passed out? So the lady was like, she was like, the needle fell out. And she was like, the needle fell out. Like, what are you doing? Like, go get somebody. So my mother wanted to go get somebody else. And I fainted for like a couple seconds, and then I came back. And I was just like, she was sticking me to it. It made me faint. I don't know why, but it made me faint. So another girl came in there, and she did it. She did my other arm. She did it the right way, and then put a band-aid on there. Boom. All right. So then they had took me to go do ultrasound. So they took me to the lab, and I'm gonna go do an ultrasound. The lady was looking around in my cervix and all that stuff. My uterus, she was looking at everything, and yeah, so I asked her, I was like, do we get sonograms in here? And she was like, no, when you go to your first appointment, Mind you, my first appointment was about to come up. I think it was either the next day or the day after my first appointment. She was like, when you go to your first appointment, they going you your first sonogram pictures. I was like, all right, cool. So if it wasn't for me taking a picture with on my phone of the screen, I wasn't even supposed to do that. But when she left out the room, I hurried up and snapped a picture of my sonogram. So I'm gonna insert that in here too. And yeah, if it wasn't for me doing that, then I wouldn't have had no fucking sonogram in my child. But yeah, so they took me back to my room after the ultrasound. They took me back to my room, and I was just in there for hours and hours. You know how the hospital, they take so fucking long. I hate the emergency room. They took so fucking long, and I'm sitting now. At this point, I'm starting to cramp. I'm having these severe bad cramps. So at this point, I'm crying. I'm tossing and turning in the bed. I can't keep still. I keep sitting up, laying down. Like, this shit was severe. It was like period cramps on 1,000. Like, for real. Like, I was not even capping. Like, that shit was hurting so bad. I was screaming. That shit was hurting. So I had to so they gave me some medicine for the pain, but that shit did not help. It calmed it down a little bit, but it did not help. That shit was still hurting. So at this point, I'm feeling, and I'm still bleeding. You thought I was dying. It was so much fucking blood. It was, I just kept bleeding. And then finally, when they was about to discharge me, then all of a sudden, I feel this big ass fucking clot come out, blood clot come out. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that bitch just slipped out. Like, I'm like, yo, what is that? Like, that shit hurt. Like, it ain't hurt, but it just was like, it felt weird. Like, that shit just slipped out. I'm like, what the fuck? So I said, Ma, like, something happened. Like, what's wrong with me? So, whole time, this blood clot, I lie to you not. I don't have the picture no more because it started making me depressed. But I don't have that picture no more. But I lie to you not, y'all. This blood clot was like, it wasn't even a circle. It was like a forming a human. So basically, it was my child. But it wasn't even, my baby wasn't even formed yet. But it was like, you could see, the blood clot was like this big, something like this. It was like this big. It was my baby. Baby came out, and yeah, and they buried my baby. Like, I went to St. Agnes, so they got it. You know, that's a Catholic hospital, and they bury people babies that had miscarriages. So they put my baby in like this little bucket thing, and they buried my baby. So after that, I was out of school for 2 months because I was in so much pain. And my mother had to go get me my schoolwork and stuff. You know, so I won't be missing out. Ooh, so I won't be that far behind either. So, yeah, she went to, shit. She went to go get my schoolwork and shit. Oh, my God. And, yeah, so I won't be that far behind, but this is the story time, y'all, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and share this motherfucking video, okay? So, yeah, I'm out.